Rich from Tennessee Homestead. How the heck are you? It's a very windy, cold day down here. And, whew. Yeah, all bundled up. Anyway, we're going to try to get through this GMO stuff. This is probably going to be a series of updates because I got to be quite honest with you. There is just too much information has flooded out in the past few weeks that it's just amazing. Just amazing. These folks are moving very fast, pushing very hard. Okay. You need to wake up. Let's start off with their crop protection programs. This is their seed coatings. Little technology where they've genetically modified microorganisms and stuffed them into the soil. Hey, if some of you may go, well, it's got to be safe, the government tests it, blah, blah, blah. No, as a matter of fact. No, those little microbes that they're stuffing in the soil have been exempted from government testing. Be too time consuming, too costly. So nobody's looked at them, except for one environmental group, or several of them, as a matter of fact. And what they found was these little new GM microbes produce toxic byproduct. Yeah, that's right. They poop poison that gets sucked into the plants you're eating. Listen to what one of their attorneys says about this. First, he says that the number of seed treatments might become relics of the past, or at least it's the goal of a lawsuit filed in January by an environmental activist group seeking to eliminate the use of them. Now, farther down in there, he talks about that environmentalists file a lot of cockamamie lawsuits. But he also states this is not one of them. Although there's room for disagreement, evidence is showing that this nanotechnology of theirs is probably playing a part in the depopulation of bees. And no research has been done on what that toxin does to you. So, what they're asking for in this lawsuit is for the EPA and the federal government to require this to be submitted to the government, just like herbicides, pesticides, and GMO seed, for testing and review. That's all they're asking. And man, are these guys fighting. Yeah. They don't want this stuff looked at. Because once you start looking at it, people start reviewing the documentation, suddenly the truth starts leaking out. We don't know what kind of damage they're doing out here. Have not a clue. Nobody's tested it. And after all, we've learned to trust these biotech companies, right? They're so trustworthy. Yeah. It's like a 4-page article where they're basically saying that, yeah, we could lose this one. They know that indeed it is probably very toxic. My only question that runs through the back of my mind is what happens when these little microbes start surviving in this environment that is designed to eventually kill them? Wonder why they're pushing hard? And oh, they're pushing hard. I'm going to introduce you to Wendy. Yeah, Wendy Capsack. Yeah. I'll read some of the things that Wendy's has to say. Now, keep in mind that this article was, the magazine itself was printed in the end of September. So it's less than 30 days old. And this was probably written before then. Let's see how Wendy's doing so far with her goals. We'll start off with what she says. Today, there's a carefully coordinated attack that is threatening the very existence of modern agriculture. To thrive, agricultural leaders and industrial organizations such as the American Society of Farm Managers, notice they don't mention farmers, must collaborate, and proactively respond to the specific pressures while advocating for our industry. Wendy, what is your industry? Oh, there it is. Wendy works for Monsanto. Okay. So, what her job at Monsanto is to get food, agriculture, culinary industries, okay, special emphasis on things like food service companies, retailers, health professionals to get on board, give them a hand. That's the same list that I was just reading about that went before your federal government to get the GMO labeling law passed, which, believe me, they should have renamed that the non-labeling law. It stops all state initiatives, but they had to push hard on that one because Vermont had stepped up and passed one that could actually make them put on the can, this is a GMO product. That'd kill their industry, and they know it. But they stopped it. No longer required. Now you get that little bar scan code. You got to look for it because it's a little bitty dog. Or maybe a phone number. Press 45 for, God, I'm tired of being on the phone for 2 hours. Yeah, you know the type. Okay, well, let's go on with some of Wendy's plans, schemes, and dreams. Let's see. I'll bring clarity to consumers, our customers. Oh, Wendy, wait a minute. I thought your customer was farmers. Now it's a consumer? I'll be darned. As well as provide a call to action to some key issues affecting agriculture today. Here comes their little list. Food safety. I first read that and thought, for heaven's sakes, Monsanto's going to finally admit that they're producing poison and stop it. Look at the regulations that are coming out, being pushed by this little group. Is things like you really can't trust the safety of a canned tomato that somebody's put up on their farm. You really can't trust raw milk. You really can't trust crops grown unregulated and not using the proper protections. See what they're going after, folks? They're going after the organic food industry with this one, and they'll probably win it. Your government will get right on board. Better wake up. Here's another one of their agendas, state level labeling initiatives. Well, they had to move that one right up to the top of their list because, why? Vermont got in there and actually passed the law, which now they've circumvented by federal law. Congratulations, Wendy. You've checked that off your list. You've already done that one. And then they have to have consumer acceptance of modern agriculture. So let's go on. Let's see what else Wendy says here. Who are they targeting here with their tools? They're talking about how social media has had a direct impact on their business. People out here like me and others saying, bad for you, get off the stuff. But here we go. It is my belief, Wendy, come on. Nobody's going to believe that. It's your boss's belief. All right, that's what she's hired to do. That we should welcome questions and proactively engage influential stakeholders, our customers, the consumer. Well, these important groups include professionals in food, nutrition, and health, chefs, self-professed foodies. Foodies? Really? You're going to try to sway them? Okay, good luck with that. you'd have to remove any negative information that they might have available to them and then, push your agenda. Think that might be what they have planned? Let's see. Millennials. You young people are creating problems to these folks, and you need to knock it off. You just need to get your mind right and fall in line. Cut it out. Moms. Now there's a terrorist group for you, huh? Yeah, get you moms on board. Then they also want to re-educate bloggers and others. More or less anybody standing up saying this stuff's poison. And they'll do that. They will take care of that. Basically, all they got to do is file a frivolous lawsuit. First, you'll probably get a letter in the mail saying cease and desist or else. They don't have to have the evidence to win. You covered all your bases, have all your I's dotted, T's crossed, have all your documentation. Doesn't matter. All they got to do is file a lawsuit against you that's going to cost you, the provider of that information, millions of dollars to defend. You'll shut up and sit down. Common sense. Okay? Fight's over at that point. Then you're going to get fed disinformation. Now, you have to understand, the small farmer, the small family farmer, is probably only 20% of the farmers still left in America. Most 45% of the farmland out there is owned by corporations already. The rest of it is leased. Retired farmers, stockbrokers buy farmland, all sorts. It's leased land, not owned by the operating farmers or the corporations that operate it as a farm. Stick that in the back of your mind. In this county alone, I know of 3 major farms, major grain farmers and cotton growers, who are now on the auction block right now, today. Bankrupt. They're going bankrupt all over the country, folks. One of the reasons that the people that are owning these land leases, own this land that they've been leasing to farmers, are having financial difficulties is because farmers can't afford to lease their land anymore. They're going broke. We'll cover that more later. But let's see what Wendy's going to do. Now, keep in mind, it's family farms, Needle Minskill Group. All right? In a world that's generations away from the farm, basically, most folks don't know the first thing about agriculture these days. Don't know the first thing about it. So you're going to get told a story. We in agriculture must tell the story of the family farmer. We must not only hold on to our heritage, but also need to show how modern production practices make the family farmer viable as a business owner. This is where I start getting angry. The only thing your modern practices has done is killed that farmer's land to where he's become a total slave to your biotech because he can't grow anything else out there. And if he wants to provide a living for his family, he's back talking to you guys about buying more. Right up to the point that the auction sign goes up in his front yard. You're bankrupting them. You're breaking their backs. You darn well know it, Wendy. That's a lie straight out of the pits of hell, and you know it. And that's what you're going to sell the American people on? Look at this cute little family. Look at their little children. And here's how we're helping them be so successful. Yeah, probably the only way those people became successful is if you guys in agreement gave them their seed. This is what's coming at you, folks. And Wendy has really pushed it. They had on their goals as state labeling. And they got that pushed through. This little group that they talked about forming up, they formed up. 1,100 of them showed up at the Senate to testify. All different professions. Yeah. Food processors, grocery store chains, right on down the line. This is coming, folks. This information that gets flying around out here, social media is beginning to really hurt their business. And so, therefore, they're going to shut social media up, period. Speak poorly of them, you're risking a lawsuit. Right up. Even if it's true. I mean, you can take it right out of their documentation. Just saying that they said it would probably get you sued frivolously, but do you have the money to defend yourself against that? Most don't. Better wake up, folks. You folks are going to become the target of disinformation. Now, why would Monsanto, a company that doesn't sell much directly to you, their main customer is the American farmer? Coming up in the next one, we're going to talk about that a little bit. The American farmer's about done. They need new customers. They want to take your food from cradle to grave. Let them do it, folks. And your nightmare begins. Agenda 21 begins. All that comes into play. You will virtually sell your soul for a plate of food. You want to eat? Get in line. Wake up, America. Right now. If you stand firm and totally cut off their cash flow, you might survive. If you don't, they're going full steam ahead right now. Full steam ahead. Be advised. It's Rich, Jesse Olmstead. Love you guys and appreciate you. Hope you're listening. It's coming at you. Let the disinformation begin. And all of us need to pray that God watches over the land, because we have no idea what kind of little creatures are being created and turned loose. Keep that in mind. Y'all have a great day.